What's up, YouTube? It is time for another video with John Was Bored. First off, I want to say thanks so much for all the subscribers and the likes and the comments and the shares. You're warming my heart, and I'm hoping that I'm giving you some useful information or at least a little entertainment. Welcome to my back deck. I built this extension to my deck a couple years ago, and as you come down the deck here, you'll see that I can step off to the left and forward, but here's a problem. So, what I'm going to do with Aircrete is I am going to build a spiral step down to my little fire pit area down here. So, that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to walk you through the process, and then we're going to actually do it. Okay, so I have been learning a little bit about additives to Aircrete to make it stronger. As you know, if you've messed with Aircrete at all, it's really brittle and flaky, and until you put that seal coat of whatever on it, it's hard to work with. And if I'm gonna make steps that I'm gonna walk down and step on and the rain's gonna hit, they need to be stronger. So I did a little research and talked to my buddy, Little Pig Store. Check his channel out. And we're gonna add some things, so hold on. First thing I'm gonna make sure I have in here is some chicken wire, all right? 15 bucks at Walmart, I'm sorry, Home Depot, probably Walmart too. Little chicken wire, and that's gonna be in there to kind of keep all of the bricks a little bit better. Also gonna drive in some rebar so that the stairs will have something grounding them and they won't slide down the hill, because that would suck. But here's the magic. Easy Sand 45 joint compound, also known as Durabond 45. So we're gonna mix this in on a 2-to-1 ratio per Little Pig Store's instructions, and that's gonna be part of our cement mix. Then we'll add water and foam. Now, another thing to point out, and Aircrete dries to this kind of really light color, and I don't want my steps to look that color. I want them to look sort of more natural, I don't know. Terracotta cement color, and we'll mix that into the water before we mix the water solution into the Durabond and cement. Mix that stuff up, then we'll add our foam. Before we do that though, we've got to decide the arc of our steps. We're going to talk about that here in a second. So here you see the slope I am dealing with here. It's a pretty significant slope. I mean, about the size of a regular slope of a regular set of stairs. And we've got to figure out our arc, both inside and outside. And so what we've done, if you look, I'll try to zoom in. Whoa, looky there, modern technology. We have just lightly driven one of our rebar poles in, tied an extension cord. You could use a string, but hey, use what you got. And I figured that point matches. I just kind of eyeballed it and ran a mark on my extension. I'm going to get my trusty assistant to show how this works. So we've got it tied there. We're going to the inside part. So that's where we know the inside of our arc is going to start. It's going to line up with the edge of my platform. So if we walk that around, we can see once we run out of the slope, let me back out here, you'll see that that will bring our steps down to about where that block of Aircrete is sitting at the moment. That was my failed rocket stove. Now let's look at the outer arc. So if we come to the edge over here of the platform and walk it around, we can see that once we get lined up with that block of Aircrete, that it's going to take us right about there. Okay, I'm gonna step out of the way and you're gonna see the lines that we marked. We're about to get all the grass up there, and you'll see the rise and run, well, you'll see the run of what we're trying to accomplish. There we go. There's our path. All we gotta do is just get the grass out of the way so that the dirt, mud underneath can, connect with the concrete, Aircrete. So we're gonna do that now. Okay, we have taken the top layer off. We're gonna go another inch or so deeper and just leave the dirt there so that we can use it when we need to berm up inside our forms. Okay, time for a little simple math. We ran a line out from the bottom step there out to the end of our run, and we know our rise, if we're gonna get close to matching our deck steps, is 8 inches. And our height out here at the end is 27 inches, all right? So, ran our line from the bottom of that step right there out to the end of our step here. And we decided, and there's my dog, we decided that we were going to have 27 inches. And if we're gonna hit 8 inches, well, that's gonna leave a little remainder. So we decided we're gonna go ahead and make them 9-inch steps, and that'll be 3 steps. So we're gonna divide our run by 3. Now, realizing this is an arch, okay, a spiral, we're gonna divide that by 3 on the inside perimeter and then on the outside perimeter, and that's gonna give us our demarcation lines. Okay, so we ran our tape along the arch, the inside arch, and found out that was 6 feet. We ran it on the outside arch, we found out that was 8 feet. So we know we're gonna do 3 steps. And those numbers, 6 feet was how many inches?
72.
72. And the outside was how many inches?
96.
96. Divide those by 3 because we need 3 steps, and we know that our inside arch pieces need to be
26.
24, I believe.
24.
Right?
Yeah.
48, 58, 68. Yeah, 24. Just 2 feet. And our outside need to be
32.
32. So there we go. We know how to build our form now. 24 on the inside, 32 on the outside, and the top's gonna match right underneath here, so it's not gonna matter. And the top, I mean, it's gonna find its own level, so we don't really need to have exact heights for our form. We just need to know how far out we gotta take them. So let's do it. So there we go. We have taken our spray paint and marked the borders of our 3 steps. Now we're going to take the chicken wire, we're going to run it down the length and put in some rebar for each step. Okay, we're going to do 2 runs. The first run is going to be for the foundation. Hopefully that's going to keep everything in there together. We'll probably put a few rocks underneath it just to give the chicken wire a little bit of a rise off the ground so that the Aircrete can get underneath it and everything can bond together. Then we're going to do a second run individually for each step. Just a big old pile of chicken wire to help build up and give strength to each step. Here we go. All these have to be driven less than 8 inches off the surface because we don't want them poking out the top. So time to get old John Henry in here. Sure. highly recommend finding an 18-year-old to do the hard stuff. Okay, we've been up to a lot. We have our form, and we have checked with a Plumb Bob app on my phone that this piece is plumb, this piece is plumb, this piece is not, but who cares? Nobody's gonna see it. We're still waiting. Come on around and let's see this. We're still got to fill up the back here. Now that's only gonna matter for this first step. Obviously for the next two, the front of the first step is gonna be the back form of 2 and 3, you get the idea. But we got to have something here to fill that gap, or all of our aircrete is going to go squirting right in that hole. So we're going to do that, and then we'll take some dirt, make a little mud, fill in the cracks all the way around, and we're going to take some Gorilla Tape. We'll fill up the seams and the cracks of the wood, and we'll be ready to pour. So while we figure out that last little bit of the back form and do those other pieces, we also got to remember we're going to take our remaining chicken wire, divide it into 3 pieces, and make a nice big ball of chicken wire to fill up some of the void and hold the aircrete together after it cures up. And that's Malachi. So we're just going to kind of fold it up the way it rolls. And you can leave those, set those aside, because we don't have the steps ready to go yet, but just kind of, that's it, that's about it. And here's one in place, tucked down on top of that rebar. So we're golden. We're just waiting for that back form, and we're gonna fill it up with Aircrete in a minute, but we gotta eat dinner first. Okay, there's our first form. Now I could form this out all the way down, but I don't exactly know, and I don't want to have to figure out where the Aircrete is going to level out on each step. So I'm just going to do one at a time. I made these forms with 1 screw right there on either side. And the reason is I want to be able to shift the angles a little bit. I'm going to sure it up with some duct tape on the inside, and we'll keep all the Aircrete from flowing all over the place. And before I do that, I'm gonna line the edges with mud. Just make some mud out of this amazing Georgia red clay, and that will seal those corners. So next thing you know, we're gonna be making up our solution, our Aircrete. All right, we're out of daylight, so the rest of this is gonna be sort of mixed lighting. Got some good old Georgia dirt. Gonna add some water. Kind of guess as you go. Good old Georgia stick. I'm gonna make some mud. Makes me feel like that guy, I guess he's in India, that makes like freaking mansions out of 2 sticks. I don't believe that's legit. What's that guy's name?
Mr. Yang update or something?
Yeah. No way that's real.
I think you just called him out.
We got the mud and all the cracks, we got the tape and all the cracks. Now we're gonna fill up some of the space with some pre-purposed Aircrete. You'll recall my first pour. You can find the video on that. We just used spray paint on that. We're gonna break that up. You remember my rocket stove, that was kind of a dismal failure. I'm gonna break that up too. And we're gonna use a little bit of this in each step to make it less space that we have to fill up with liquid crete. So here we go with the deconstruction. Okay, we filled up a 5-gallon bucket of water, poured about half of it into here, 2.5 gallons worth. The typical recipe for your soap solution is 2 cups per 5 gallon. Simple math, 1 cup for 2.5 gallons. And that's gonna be, something like that. Okay, this is not your typical Aircrete mix. Typically we would do 3 gallons per half bag of Portland cement, 6 gallons for a full bag. We're gonna do half a bag, plus we're going to do a bag of Durabond 45 Easy Sand. And I'm going to do it with 2.5 gallons because that's going to make it a little bit thicker in every respect. And I got to mix my color in. If you remember, I'm going with the terracotta color stain, or color or cement color. So we got to dump this in first and pre-mix it. So the directions here say 1 bottle will color 80 pounds of regular Quikrete or concrete. We're going to be ended up doing about 40 pounds, all said. So I'm going to do simple math, half a bottle, which comes to about here. First time I've ever used this stuff. It's pretty gooey and weird. Looks like tomato soup now. So as we've mentioned before, we always put our liquid in first. So we're about to dump this in to our big bucket. And I imagine this stuff will stain like a you-know-what, so I hope I can save this shirt. Half a bag of Portland cement. An 18-pound bag of Durabond 45. Now we let the dust settle and we mix. Good dirt. Dust in the mass. Oh. So our consistency is not very moist. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. All right, well, it took some doing, but we finally mixed this stuff up. We had to add another gallon. And it's about the consistency of mud pie. There you go. So now we're gonna add the foam. So there's our mix. Looks like a typical batch of Aircrete, except it's red. I'm thinking we got a little too much water in there, but we'll see. Half a batch didn't make enough to fill up our first step, even when filling it up with some rock pieces. So you can see we got another batch in front of us. We're just gonna call it for tonight, make some more another day.